What is the solution to the inequality -5 greater than or equal to -1/2 times the quantity of x plus 3? So the first thing I'm going to do on this problem is I notice that there's that -1/2 and there's a -5. So I have a negative on both sides of the equation. I am going to automatically multiply by a negative just to get rid of that. Also, I see that I have that 1/2. How do you get rid of fractions? You multiply by the inverse. So instead of 1/2, I'll multiply by 2/1, which is the same thing as 2. So I'm going to multiply by a negative and by a 2. So I'm going to multiply by -2 on both sides. This will get rid of the negatives and it will get rid of the fraction. However, there is a rule when you multiply or divide by negatives when you are dealing with inequalities. So teaching assistant Chloe is here to give some of Chloe's cheat sheet notes. She wants you to know that when you divide or multiply by a negative number, the inequality sign always flips. So if it's greater than and you divide or multiply by a negative, it becomes less than. If it's a greater than or equal to and you divide or multiply by a negative, it becomes less than or equal to. Anytime you multiply or divide by a negative when you are dealing with an inequality, the sign always flips. So now that we're multiplying by that -2, since we are multiplying by a -2, and remember when you divide or multiply by a negative number, the inequality sign always flips. So since we are multiplying by that -2, our inequality sign is going to flip. So notice that the sign did flip, and then we just did -5 times -2 is +10. And over here, negative and the negative become a positive. 1/2 and 2 are inverses, so they cancel each other out. So I have 10 less than or equal to x plus 3. From here, we want to solve for a variable x, so we're going to go ahead and subtract 3 to both sides. When I do that, the 3 will cancel out on the left, and I will get 10 minus 3, which is 7. So I have 7 less than or equal to x. Now I prefer to write the variable first, so I'm just going to switch that around to x greater than or equal to 7. Now to draw this on a number line, I wanted to show you that. So if I have right here, I put a nice closed circle right here on my 7, and then if x is greater than that, I would be going that way. So the solution to this equation is x greater than or equal to 7.